Hello people, I have another video for you today. Now, we're going to be talking about something that I like, and I thought I should do a guide on how to buy headphones. I've got some of them here, headphones all over. I'm just going to put them all in my lap because I love them, all my headphones. Okay, that was creepy. Now, in a more serious way, I have a lot of things I want to talk about. I'm going to say a lot of stuff today. I even made a list on my phone, which is kind of strange. So let's start off at the beginning. First thing, if you want to buy a pair of headphones, you're not so knowledgeable about this kind of stuff. Not saying I am. Maybe I can help you out a little bit. So first of all, the first question you need to ask yourself is, what do I need them for? For example, you could buy headphones for gaming, or for running, for sports, or fashion headphones, or I don't know, just headphones you use when you listen to music whilst you're home, or for movie stuff like that. That's the first step and probably the most important. Figure out what you need. Figure it out? Fine. Now, if you figure it out, you need to learn a bit about headphones and how they actually work and what they're designed for. The first thing is the type of headphone. First of all, let's start off with the smallest ones. I'm going to use Sennheiser as a case study, shall we say, because that's what I have on hand and that's what I've been using for many years. First of all, if you want headphones just to walk outside, this is probably fine for you. Just this regular earbud style. You put them in your ears and you walk around, listen to music, whatever. These are the Sennheiser MX470s. I've had these for more than 3 years and they still work. They're fine. I just changed them because I for something else right now because they were a bit old. I want something new, but they still work just fine. Okay, so these are called in-ears because they go in your ears. It's not that hard now, is it? Now, one step up would be something like this. These are the Momentum's on-ear, and on-ear, exactly as their name says, when you put them on your head, they stay just on your ear. Basically, they cover your earlobe. The actual pad itself covers your entire earlobe. This is called on-ear. Now, the last and the biggest ones are called over-ears. As you can see, the cup size on this one is much larger than on this one. And basically on this one, your ear goes inside the cup. So the actual, padding itself is around your ear. Something like this. See? It's quite large. And it covers your ear completely. Now, what are they good for? For example, something like this. These are the HD 380 Pros. This is something you use at home, listen to music, stuff like that. It's not something you carry around. They're far too big. And if I put them on my head, imagine how I look walking around with these on my head. They're huge. And there are other reasons why you wouldn't wear these outside, and I'll tell you that a bit later. Whereas something like this, like the Momentum's on-ear, since these are much smaller, you can see, just go on your ear, nice like that. You could wear these outside, you could walk around with them, no problem. Okay. I have to say that headphones are something that I find very personal. Like my mouse, my keyboard, all the human interface devices, everything I put in my ear, on my head, stuff like that. All those things are very particular to each individual. For example, I know people who cannot wear on-ear headphones. For example, girls who have lots of earrings, especially around this part of their ear. These press on your earlobe a bit when you're wearing them. So you can't really wear these if you have earrings, for example. Other people don't have a problem with that. It's a very personal thing. And right from the start, I'm going to say, if you want to buy a pair of headphones, go and test them. Go into a shop, sit and try them out. Don't try them out for 10 seconds. Try them out, for 10 minutes if you can, at least. So your ears and your head have time to get used to them. And see if they're comfortable for you, because comfort is a very good thing. You can have headphones that sound absolutely fantastic, but they don't suit your particular preferences. They don't suit your ears or stuff like that. So that's very, very important. Now, next thing. Yeah. See, I'm using the list. I'm really, really organized today. I don't know what's wrong with me. Now, if we're talking about the over-ears, the big ones, basically there are two main types of over-ear headphones, open and closed. Now, have a closer look at these. As you can see, this is absolutely closed. This is hard plastic. You know, the sound in these ones cannot escape through anywhere. You know, basically all the sound they're making goes into my ear. They insulate very well, so these are closed design. Basically, you know, some people actually prefer closed design to open design. Now let me show you some open headphones. These ones, these are the Sennheiser's HD 598. I still don't know which one is left and which one is right. Yeah, this one. Now, if you look at these ones, you see they have this mesh over here. Now this mesh actually allows sound to escape, you know. So the actual pressure, you know, the pressure of the sound on your ear is going to be smaller with this one. It's going to be stronger with these ones, the closed ones. Now, advantages of the open ones. I find that I can wear open headphones a lot longer than I can wear closed ones before fatigue or starts to set in. A disadvantage would be that with these ones you lose a lot of bass primarily, and also the people around you can hear what you're listening to because some of the sound escapes through the side mesh thingy. Whereas with these ones, people can't really hear what you're saying. Also, how do you figure out which ones you like? Well, you know, go to a shop, put them on, because you'll notice with closed design, proper headphones, when you put them on, you'll start to hear yourself talking a lot in a smaller volume. Like you put your hands around your ear, you know, and cover your ears up like this, and you start to talk and you sound all funny. In a good pair of closed headphones, that should also happen. They should insulate against outside noise very, very well, because that's one of the main ingredients in the way they produce sound, which is insulating the outside noise. With the open ones, they will insulate, but just a tiny bit personally, and that's how they should work. That's how open headphones should work, in my opinion. They should not insulate perfectly like closed ones should. Okay? Now, next thing, what's on my list? All headphones, all of them, have a sound signature. You can see manufacturers, especially like Sennheiser, they have multiple headphones around the same price, you know, and you would wonder, why would the manufacturer produce several products around the same price? Well, that's because, apart from all the physical aspects I've told you about right now, headphones have very different sound signatures. For example, the HD 380 Pros are very bass heavy pair of headphones, whereas the 598s aren't. Their bass is much lower on these ones than they are on the 380s. And that's true for most manufacturers. You know, most of them produce headphones for different types of preferences, because I might like, you know, bass heavy headphone, but somebody else, for example, like my mother, she can't stand bass heavy stuff, headphones, whatever. So she would prefer something like this, you know, which is a much lower bass signature and has, you know, much higher mediums, much higher highs. It also depends what you listen to. If you're listening to classic music, well, a headphone with higher mediums and high signature would work better than a headphone with, you know, big bass. If you like bass stuff, like, you know, like hip hop, things like that, maybe, you know, something like the HD 380 Pro would work for you. Again, that's a thing of personal preference, and figure out what you want, because if you're gonna spend €100, dollars, whatever, on a pair of headphones, which may be a good pair of headphones, they just have, you know, a particular sound signature, and you realize that you don't like that sound signature, well, then you're gonna have to buy something else, which is money wasted, and you never want to waste money. Now do it. Okay. Now, you could go out and buy the most expensive pair of headphones you want. $1,000 pair of headphones, more than that, pro headphones. If you then plug them into something like your phone, well, you've wasted, I don't know, like 90% of the money. Why is that? Well, all headphones have something that's called impedance. Now, impedance is measured in ohms. So when you look on headphone spreadsheets and you see, you know, impedance so and so ohms, you know what that is. That's basically the resistance that the driver itself So the actual speaker that's inside here, the resistance it has to be moved. In order to for a speaker, a headphone speaker, or you know, just a stereo speaker, whatever, the way it produces sounds, it moves back and forward. Okay, so the amount that it itself resists that movement, that's impedance. Theoretically, higher impedance means that that driver is much higher quality and it's going to be able to produce much crisper sound, much higher quality sound. So if you have a headphone that has, I don't know, like 50 ohms, I think these have 50 ohms, I forgot right now, and you plug them into a phone, for example, you know, or a low audio source, and then you plug them into a proper audio source, you're gonna see a huge difference. And it's really hard to explain sound over a YouTube video. If you know what I mean, then you're gonna get it, but if you don't, I'm gonna really try to explain it. First of all, the volume is gonna be much lower, and I'm talking about they're gonna sound like they're broken, like they're not going as high as they should go. That's the first thing. The next thing, the sound signature itself would lack vibe, would lack life. It'd be like you would be, you know, in a concert hall or something, and then you'd cover your ears and put yourself in a barrel or something, and then put the lid on a barrel. You'd be disconnected from the sound. That's the sound signature you get when you plug your headphones into a poor quality audio source, or an audio source that's not suited for those headphones. For example, other headphones like these ones, like the Momentums, since these are made to be portable, these are designed to be used on low audio sources, like a phone, or an MP3 player, or stuff like that, or a laptop, or whatever, you know? So these will work fine if you plug them into a phone. But any decent type of headphone, like the 380s or the 598s over here, would require either a sound card with a headphone amplifier. And for example, I can give you some, like Ozentech makes a lot of stuff like that, Asus, Phoebus, they also make, you know, consumer level amplified. ESI makes some decent sound cards. These are all consumer grade stuff. I'm not talking about pro end gear, because that costs huge amount of money. And if you're watching this guide, you probably don't need, you don't have, you know, that high end gear. Right. That's one option. That's the option I prefer, because it's fairly cheap and it's fairly affordable for most of us. The other option would be to get, you know, like external DAC amplifiers. Most of the time, those are going to be much better at driving higher end headphones than an amplified sound card. But when you go into that stuff, you know, the price tag starts to go up and up and up and up. And if you talk to another audiophile or somebody who's pro, oh, they're going to recommend, you know, get this pro DAC, this pro amp, and these pro headphones. And when you add them up, you see that they cost $2,000 or 2,000 euros to get, you know, together. And that's crazy. Most of us can't spend that type of money. That's why, you know, if you buy like 100 euro, 150 euro decent sound card and 200, 300 euro headphones, you can get an absolutely fantastic experience, you know, for relatively low prices. Next thing I want to talk about is 7.1, 5.1 or stereo. So what does that mean? Well, like in your home theater system, for example, where you have, you know, 7 or 5 or whatever speakers, and you create that surround 3D sound experience, and that works great for home theater systems. Now there are headphones. None of these here are actually, you know, don't have the technology, but they exist out there. There are headphones which can replicate this surround experience, and they do that in two ways. Either they have in each ear cup several drivers, so several actual small speakers, you know, one being from the front, one the back, one the, you know, main, so on and so forth. Yep, that's the, let's say, expensive way of doing it. And others have, you know, just a normal speaker like most headphones, and they use software virtualization to create a fake 3D. Now, what are they good for? Well, for example, the actual real 5.1 or 7.1 headphones that have multiple speakers in each ear cup. Now, those ones are very good, in my opinion, for stuff like games. And the best way I can explain it, if in a game you have a rocket going past you, you know, so it's coming from your back and it's going by you and going forward, well, then you're gonna hear it, you know, just like it's whooshing by you. You're gonna hear it, in the back first, in the middle, and then hear it going to the front. So it's good for that. Also, if you're playing shooters, you can hear somebody coming up from behind you much easier than you would with a normal, just single speaker headphone. Personally, the software version of this, the 3D virtualization or whatever, I don't really like. I think it makes the sound. I don't know, it makes it lack life. I really don't like it, but that's just a personal preference. So headphones with multiple speakers are good for stuff like games, maybe for some movies. What they're horrible for, my opinion at least, is everything else. Imagine that all those speakers, if you're listening to a song, they have to work in unison, all at the same time. And most of the time, they're different size speakers. So, the quality you get from in terms of music is pretty poor, I have to be honest, with 7.1 and 5.1 headphones. Now, that's my personal opinion. I really don't like them, but if somebody else likes them, whatever, fine by me. An example would be like the Razer, or what's it called? Tiamat or something like 7.1. It has actual speakers, that's mainly for gaming made. But another thing is that they're very expensive. Imagine having several drivers in each ear cup. That's very expensive manufacturing process. Now, another thing, connectivity. Most headphones use, let me show you one of these. This is a standard 3.5mm jack. Now, another variant is this. This is the bigger one. This is the 6.3mm jack. Most sound cards are gonna have one of these. Only the amplified sound cards or DACs or amps are gonna have the bigger one. But that's not a problem, because you can buy adapter, either 6.3 to 3.1 or the reverse, making this one into a bigger one. Good. Now another option would be to get USB headphones. Most USB headphones have a built-in sound card. If it's built, in the headphone itself or in a little dongle, on the cable, it's just, I think that's a good solution if you want to buy something for like a laptop or a thing like that. But again, those options aren't, in my opinion, the best. But that's just me. We're gonna get into the more detailed part of our guide. A very important thing in determining the sound signature and the way you live with your headphones is clamping force. That's the force that the headphone itself, the ear cup, let me just unplug this because it's noisy, okay? So that's the force that the ear cup itself applies to your head. How hard is it pressing on your head and your ears? For example, these HD 380 Pros, since they are aimed at a higher specialized market, so to say, have a very high clamping force. Now, high clamping force combined with closed design is gonna insulate very well, and besides that, no sound is gonna escape, so you're gonna be able to hear every single bass, treble, or high, or medium, or whatever that they produce. And the actual pressure they're gonna put upon your ear, the sound pressure, is gonna be much higher than on a pair of headphones with lower clamping force. For example, these 598s, these have a much lower clamping force than these ones. If I put them on my head, let's just say the high point of pressure is somewhere around here, on my head where they're resting. They're just barely touching the sides of my head, and that's fine. But when I put these ones on, the 380s, the high points of pressure are around my ears, especially around this part. I can feel them squeezing my head. Now, advantages and disadvantages for both systems. As I've said, with these ones, you're gonna be able to get fantastic isolation and fantastic sound, especially bass, very good bass you're gonna be able to get. The disadvantage would be, at least for me, again, this is personal preference, that these ones I wouldn't be able to use for extended periods, because all the area around my ear would become very tired. And besides that, since they're applying so much pressure to your ear canal, I found that my ear got tired of listening. Sure, when you're wearing these, you're not doing anything else. When you're playing a song with these, all you're doing is listening to that song. They demand your attention. Okay? That's all you do when you wear these. You don't do anything else. And so if I would have, like 2 or 3 songs that I really like wanting to listen, I would put these on without thinking about it, because I would know the experience I get is remarkable. Now, if you look at something with lower clamping force, like these 598s, these I could wear for hours without having a problem. The area around my ear or the ear itself wouldn't get so tired as with the 380 Pros. Now the disadvantage is that the bass and the overall sound pressure isn't as high with these ones as it is with the 380 Pros. Okay? Now that's a very important thing, and that's not something you can realize immediately. Put the headphones on, feel them, wait. I wouldn't even necessarily go play on music. Just see how they adjust to your head. Okay? Good, let's move on. Now, if we talk about clamping force, let's talk about the ear pads themselves. The pads are these things, right? The part of the headphone which touches your actual ear or head. These ones, for example, are made of fake leather or pleather, or whatever you want to call it. Okay? For example, let's take the Momentums. These ones are made from this cloth. I think this is Alcantara, actually. Yeah, I think this is Alcantara material. Personally, this type of fake leather insulates better than the cloth, but for me, for example, this type of fake leather really makes my ears sweat, and I really don't like that, especially in the summer like now, or over long listening sessions. The cloth material or Alcantara on headphones I find to be much easier to wear for elongated periods. But again, that's mainly personal preference. I know people who refuse to use headphones that have anything apart from leather or fake leather on the ear cups. That's why I'm saying, you have to decide what you want based on your personal preferences. Another thing is the actual foam that they use inside these. Now, decent headphones will use memory foam or something similar. Now, even the foam itself has an impact on fatigue and also on sound quality. Because, let me show you, if I just press on this, you see, it returns immediately to this shape. It's decently soft, so is this one. If you have harder foam, that means that it's gonna probably press a bit harder on your ear. It's gonna insulate better, but also your ear is gonna get a bit more tired faster. Also, memory foam actually adapts itself to the shape of your ear and the shape around your ear, and it insulates good also. If you look at cheaper headphones, you'll see that after a few months of use, the foam starts to change shape because it's it's poor quality foam. For example, on my 380s, which I've had for 4 years, more than 4 years I've owned these. If I look at the foam, it's in the exact same shape it was the day I got them. Sure, when I put them on, it's soft, it's not rigid, and it adapts itself well to the shape of my head, but it hasn't deformed. Imagine having the foam fall off in one area. The sound will leak out of there and they wouldn't feel comfortable anymore. Okay? But that's a very important thing. But again, that's down mainly to personal preference. Good. So, next thing. Build quality. If you buy shitty, cheap headphones, which I did for more than 4 years, I had, like these, especially, smaller earbuds like this. I think I bought a new pair like every half year because they kept breaking down on me. These 380 Pros, which I've had for 4 years, I said, they're in the same shape they were when they were brand new. They're absolutely perfect. Now, a good manufacturer like Sennheiser will build quality stuff. Having headphones which are good build quality, I think is essential, because if you're spending $200, 200 euros on a pair of headphones, you're not going to change them in 6 months. You're going to want them to last. I can see using these for 10 years without a problem from the build quality perspective. You know, my preferences may change in time and I may switch to something else. But, you know, it matters how the strap itself, the head strap, how flexible it is, how hard it is. Also, the arms that connect the speaker to the headband, how strong are they? And if you look at these, I'm not going to show that, but they're built with screws. They're actually, you know, built properly so they can last. Look at these Momentums, for example. These ones have this beautiful yet light and strong metal construction. You know, this is actual metal. You're not gonna break this, you know, from just normal use. You can throw them around. It's gonna be just fine. And I think that type of stuff is absolutely vital when you're buying headphones. You know, to have them be nice quality, not just glitzy and shiny and all that stuff, and you know, in a month they're gonna break or something like that. Yeah, so most good manufacturers are gonna build quality products. Okay, next. Yeah, please clean them. Just please. As you'd clean your mouse, as you'd clean your keyboard, clean them. And I'm gonna show you why. And this is gonna be disgusting, but it's for your own good. When you put them on your ear, you have what? You have hair, you have dead skin, sweat, perspiration, everything, and it's gonna be all in contact with the ear cup itself. If you take just take, you know, like a you know, slightly damp cloth or a slightly damp towel and just wipe the contact between your skin and the headphone. If all that disgusting stuff like sweat and dead skin and hair gets stuck in here, in time, you know, it can actually make them smell a bit funny. Okay, so please just clean them. Another thing, very important thing, in my opinion at least. Alright, just a second. These things. Now, oopsie. These are pouches. For example, small pouch for, you know, earbuds like this. And then you can have like hard pouches like this one, or soft pouches like this one. Why are these important? Well, if you're going to be carrying your headphones around, you don't just want to throw them in your luggage, okay? You want to have something to carry them in. And Sennheiser, for example, gives you these pouches. For example, this one for the 380s, you know, is very nice and has, you know, soft interior, so they don't get scratched. I would never carry my headphones around, you know, on vacation or whatever, without one of these pouches. Again, good manufacturers are going to give you quality carrying pouches. Of course, if you go for a more expensive headphone, they're gonna have probably, you know, better quality pouch, but that's to be expected. Okay, and probably the last and most important thing. Please don't buy shitty manufacturers. A lot of people are selling today gaming headphones, which look all glitzy and they're red with stripes and stuff like that, and they're shit. They're absolutely fucking shit. People sell them to gamers primarily because gamers don't know any better, and they're just buying something because it looks good, but in reality there's not anything there to support that price tag. I've seen incredible price tags on gaming headphones which sound absolutely horrible for that price. Buy a decent manufacturer. Buy stuff like, you know, Sennheiser, Bear Dynamics, Denon, AKG. I don't know, people who've been doing headphones and audio stuff not for 1 or 2 years, but for decades. That's what you want to buy. And all manufacturers are gonna have, you know, lower price stuff, higher price stuff. Of course, as prices go up, you're gonna get more. That's, you know, that's to be expected. So figure out what's your price area. Figure out what you need to do with the headphones, and then look for a good manufacturer. A lot of people these days are just buying headphones that look nice and has no actual substance. For example, you can buy headphones that are similar to the Momentums, for a quarter of the price, but they sound absolutely horrible. It just looks, there's actually nothing there. Okay? Well, that was it, guys. I hope this video is informative and I hope it helps you. So, I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.